So the WNBA have opted out of their CBA. That it was a given. It's something they hinted at quite a while ago. And it's something that makes perfect sense. Like, it makes perfect sense for the WNBA to do that because, well, like, why would they opt into a CBA that was made in 2020 when they were getting, 200,000 people to watch their finals? Why would they opt into something for that when they're now getting 2 to 3 million people watching the finals? And if you guys agree, subscribe. We are like 70 subscribers off hitting 38k, and if we could hit that by the end of the day, that'd be insane. But we're going to look at what the WNBA players want right here. So the key priorities are a new economic model. So transforming the current system, which imposes arbitrary and restrictive caps on the value and benefits players receive, by introducing an equity-based model that grows and evolves in step with the league's business success. I don't understand what that means. I'm guessing it's we need to make a certain percentage of the league's revenue like they keep preaching. The problem is that the WNBA only owns 42% of the league. Like, they can't take 50% of the league's revenue when because they're like, we want the same revenue split. The NBA gets a 50-50 revenue split. The problem is the WNBA itself don't own 50% of their league. You can't get a 50-50 revenue split of 42. Like, you actually cannot get 50% of 42. Like, sorry, not 50%. Like, if you want to get 50% of your revenue, you need to get 8% more than the entire revenue the WNBA gets. People saying, oh, but like they get whatever, 10%. Yeah, move it up to 20. They will never get 50. Player salaries, as it says here, establishing a clear distinction between salary and bonuses, ensuring players receive wages that properly reflect their value and contributions to the league's growing business. Okay. Players receive wages that properly reflect their value and contributions to the league's growing business. Okay. Caitlin Clark, you're getting $5 million a year. Angel Reese, you're getting $1 million a year. Aja Wilson, you're getting $750K a year. Breanna Stewart, you're getting about $600K a year. Sabrina Ionescu, you're getting about $950K. Leah Boston, around the same. But, Kate Martin, you're getting paid $800K a year. But Jewel Lloyd, you've been an all-star. Go get paid $50K a year. Go get your $50K a year. Like, that's a weird way of wording it. Properly reflect the players' values to the growing business. The problem is there's about 5 players that are the reason why the league's growing. No, I'll give 20 players. I'll give 20 players that. Minimum professional standards. Implementing consistent minimum standards that align with other leading professional sports league. Maintaining professional and safe environments across the league, including practice and game facilities as well as accommodations. As well as travel accommodations. The problem is that that's on a team-by-team basis, and that will cause a lockout. That will cause a lockout because there are teams like the Chicago Sky, there are teams like the Los Angeles Sparks that are not going to do that. Like, the problem is that by setting a minimum standard in the new CBA, it means that there's a minimum standard. It doesn't, like, by saying you need like certain things in your practice facilities, it means it has to happen on the spot. For that to become a minimum standard, it means that teams, the Sky, who are building something, they're behind. So Dave, what are they going to do? Are they going to be fined? Are they going to be kicked out of the league for not expecting this? That's something that literally, like, it's hard to put in a minimum standard unless it's something like the minimum standard effective 2028. And it makes teams have to build. But that, if anything was to cause a lockout, it would be that, because there are a lot of cheap owners. Retirement benefits. Expanding retirement benefits to provide greater financial security and health benefits to their players in life after basketball. Cool. It's going to cost a lot of money though. Pregnancy and family planning benefits. Fair and accessible planning support for all players, including retirement benefits that provide long-term security for the families. For me, anyway, when I'm reading this, the problem is that it's very hard to get all of these extra benefits and have the wage jump they want to. Like, we saw with how much it cost for the charter flights. We saw how much a charter flights cost. That they were more like double what a team's entire salary was. Apologies, lads. Sorry, quite sick. But like, so these benefits the players are going to be getting, like, let's just say hypothetically, the retirement benefits are like 70K a year, even though that's nothing. But they make some weird rule because they want it to be that you can maybe get some after 5 years. So every single player who's played 5 years is on a retirement benefit of 70K a year. Like, all you would need then is 100 players, and that's more than the salary of the damn league. It's, well, more than the salary the damn league was 5 years ago. And that's where the issues is, where it's like, where I think there's going to be some sort of a standoff, is that the WNBA players are going to want, they want all the extra benefits, and like the extra money is there, by the way. I understand the opt out. The problem is that the league does not have quite as much money as they think it does, even though it's making that money, because effectively, for lack of a better word, they made a deal with the devil. They made a deal with the devil. They made a deal with the NBA because they needed it to survive, and now they basically don't own their business. So there's a difference. The NBA owns 100% of the NBA. The WNBA owns 42% of the WNBA. So you've only got 42% of the league. And let's just say the league profits now, the league generates 100 million in profits before salary and everything. 42 million that goes to use, 42 million that goes to the NBA. And now you've got 42 million to cover like salaries, everything. And it's like, the salary, if you're going to get all the extra benefits, the real, and force teams to build practice facilities, force teams to do all this, the reality is that to build a practice facility is 7 years worth of salary for players. Even if the salary triples, it's 7+ years worth of salary. Like the Chicago Sky's facility is costing something like 60 million. The salary cap is 1 million a year. So even if you trebled everyone's salary, the problem is that you can treble your salary. Heck, if all of these other things weren't there, like minimum professional standards and all this stuff, if all those things weren't there, you could probably go in and say, look, it's going to cost 30 million to build a practice facility. Why not raise the salary from per team? Instead of forcing teams to spend 30 million, let's just say, you know what, we'll take the 30 million in salary. Give us, raise the salary cap to 4 million. So I think that's really where they have to make a choice, because there's not enough money in the league for the salaries they want and the benefits. They can get all the benefits. They can get the charter flights. They can get the charter flights. They can have the practice facilities. Like, all of that is definitely within the financial capabilities of the WNBA owners and teams. The problem is that all it takes is one cheap owner, and there's a few of them. The Chicago Sky owner, the Sun owner, the Sparks owner. There's a lot of cheap owners. Like the NBA owners, like Joe Tsai, like not Sarver, Matt Ishbia, Joe Lacob, then obviously the Vegas football team owner, like all those owners, yeah, they would gladly pay their players $1 million each. The problem is that there's still enough cheap owners in the W that what the WNBA players want is not going to happen.